Hey, I'm Lainey Lipsky, and I'm here to help you with your parenting. I know you have some questions about discipline. And one of the biggest questions that I get from parents, and I talk to parents every day, is that they want to know how to effectively discipline their kids. And this is really a very big topic, and it really gets at the heart of why parenting is so challenging for so many people, especially if you have a child who isn't a typically easy kid. So, the thing that most parents are working with is an old set of beliefs. And those were handed down to us by our own parents and generations before them, who believed that discipline was really all about getting good behavior out of a child. Because if the child was behaving well, it meant that, of course, we were a wonderful parent. But what we know now, and what the research tells us again and again and again, and what we see is the outcomes for kids who are raised with parents who are disciplining them in a too harsh of a way, in what's called an authoritarian style of parenting, is that those kids are growing up to be just the opposite of what the parents want them to be. The parents want them to be successful and independent and happy, all those things that all of us want for our kids. But when they're raised with an authoritarian style of parenting, they end up being insecure and not as successful as they could be in love, work, and relationships. So the style of parenting that most of us are trying to get out of is what I call old school parenting. The things like bribing and shaming, the things like spanking, even timeouts and yelling at kids. Those are all under the category of what I would call old school parenting. And what we're seeing again and again is that kids who are experiencing that kind of parenting style from their own parents as the main style of parenting aren't growing up to be as successful as their parents want them to be. So how do we make changes to this? What are the main things that we need to understand to start shifting the paradigm so that we can get the results we want for our kids? Because at the end of the day, we want to raise awesome kids, and we want kids who we respect and who respect us, and we want to get great behavior along the way. We also want them to grow up to be not only successful and happy adults, we want them to start bringing home potential partners that we approve of, that we like. And we want our kids to be people who we genuinely want to hang out with when they're older. We want to be happy to see them at holidays. Parenting is a very, very long game, which is why I treat it like a marathon. And that's exactly how I teach it when I talk to parents. So this idea of getting out of the old school paradigm really requires a very big mindset shift for parents. When you go after the idea of controlling somebody else's behavior, you're going to be using a lot of those old school parenting techniques because they're really based in shame. And shame can sometimes get somebody's behavior to turn on a dime. Sometimes it doesn't work, but sometimes it does. But at a very big cost. Because when somebody feels shamed, they feel like they don't belong. They feel like that their sense of worthiness is being challenged. So there's a whole new way to get better behavior and better cooperation from kids without using all of those old school shame-based techniques. The main piece of this style of parenting is going to be rooted in empathy. And when we actually look at the word discipline, when we really take a look at the root of it, it comes from the word to teach. And all of the best teachers that I'm sure you've ever had, that I certainly have ever had, have been people who really know how to empathize with their students, who really know how to put themselves in their students' shoes so they can get the best learning out of them. And when we adopt that mindset, when we take that shift and we start empathizing with our kids in order to teach them, and we shift our mindset from controlling to teaching, then we're really able to make some dramatic shifts in our parenting. Now, this is going to look very different in everybody's family because everybody's family is different and everybody's children are different and the challenges are different, of course. But if you can take away this concept of, am I trying to control my child or am I trying to teach my child something? You're going to end up having much better results. So I hope that helps you. And if you like this video, I'm going to invite you to subscribe and like it in the notes below. And also, if what I've said resonates with you, go ahead and follow the link in the description below to join my Facebook group where I do free coaching. And also there's a link for my free class. So if you want to learn more and you really want to dive into positive parenting, I would love to have you there and I'd love to spend more time with you.